All right, so here we are with another episode of Minecraft on our hardcore world. I am continuing to dig out that little box there to get all of the stone for our castle. General progress. Adding in this kind of globe area for the front because I didn't want it to just be like a triangle roof the whole way. I also know that the place where I'm getting the stone is a slime chunk, which is also nice, but that one slime that you saw me kill, I think I've only ever seen like 2 others, so I'm just continuing to dig down, hoping that eventually it'll start producing more slime so I can do more redstone. Here is the improved hallway, and I'm going through and adjusting the roofs a little bit, but I made sure that it was more even. And this is how I'm making the steepled roof. You can kind of see my villagers pop in and out at the bottom. I know that these aren't aged copper, but I just figured I'd put it in and eventually it would be the right shade and go from there. This is the area towards the front entrance, and I didn't quite know how I wanted it to connect because of the way the tower was, so I decided to go with more of the traditional like stair roof circling situation. The biggest issue here being my inability to adjust and get the stairs in properly, but yeah, you can sort of see where that is lined up a little bit better. Anyways, while I'm doing this, leave a like if you like the video and a comment if you have any additional suggestions, and subscribe. Here I opened up this big opening because I planned on doing a stained glass window when I eventually got what I needed. After finishing the globe at the top, I did make sections of this in a creative world just so that I could get the scale of it and adjust it, and then finished it up in my engineering paper. But yeah, so this is the stained glass that I ended up with. I think it worked pretty well for what I wanted. I tried to make the colors kind of random, but not too random. And then I started another build because I pop around quite a bit. And with that build, I'm working on covering the iron golem or iron farm just so it looks nicer. You can sort of see the iron setup in the side. But because I was doing that, it required a whole lot of mud. So I decided that I would make a mud generator type of thing so I could make these mud bricks. And I used a tutorial from Pixlriffs, I believe is how he says his name. I will not be showing you how I made it with all the redstone and stuff, mainly because 1, I did not follow it perfectly, and 2, he explains it much better and his worked far better than the one I did. This is the side area, kind of, that box is around the entrance in order to get down to the cave and the slime chunk. And I'm putting up all these bushes because I'm trying to figure out how I want to set it up, because eventually I want to get it to where I can move my villagers into the castle so that we can adjust or remake the village the way it is, like eventually make it match my castle a little bit better. A brief update on our beacon. Still not doing too great, but enough that we can get some stuff done. I added the wood around here. I wasn't entirely pleased with this. This does eventually get changed a little bit. I don't know if I showed it in this video or not. I did it on the other side as well. And that side is where I'll eventually add in like the dorms where all my villagers will sleep. And then their jobs will probably be kind of out there. After putting up all of that mud, I decided to swap it out for the brick and then have the walls set as diorite mainly because those are material that I have a large abundance of. And it also increases my levels because you have to make, in order to make the bricks, you have to, cook the nether rack. And I am still on the quest to get feather falling on my boots so that I do not fall to my death. So making that mud redstone was pointless at this point because we ended up not using it at all. Typical me. And then I took some of the rest of my glass and I slowly made it. I'm not entirely pleased with the staircase that I built in order to get to the second floor, but I didn't quite know a better way, and I didn't like leaving the scaffolding. You can see it on some of the other little spots that I haven't officially gotten rid of it. I also moved my enchanting table over because I thought it was nicer over there. This one doesn't have the high ceilings that some of the other ones do, but yeah. So I moved my enchanting table into that tiny, smaller tower, and I also cut the roof out of that one so it goes straight up to the smallest layer. I started making the door. I wanted a second layer so it was easier to come in and out, and I'd seen people use spruce trap doors along with a spruce door because it matches. This took me ridiculously long because apparently I am just as bad at making trap doors go the right direction as stairs, and so it took me quite a bit of time in order to figure out how to get it to work, but eventually I get it to where it matches up at the top. I'm waiting for a spruce tree to grow, which is why it doesn't go all the way to the top right now. Don't worry, it will eventually go all the way to the top. I decided that I kind of wanted the general lighting in here to be kind of like the lighting in the Great Hall or whatever. And so I took some end rods, spoiler for next week's or next video or whatever. I did figure out how to make end rods with materials after looking it up online because I thought that you had to get them from the structures in the end city, and so I was bracing myself for that journey, but you do not have to. You can make them elsewhere, and I already had gotten the material from when I had gone exploring. So I added in a bunch of these. Eventually I do go in and get rid of the string so it's just not as obvious. I'm not entirely convinced that it provides enough light. I tried my best not to make them regular in height and position, so like horizontally, on my X, Y, and Z axis, I wanted them to be as different as possible. You can sort of see my the hole I cut out in the front there. But yeah, so I think it turned out pretty good. I'll just need to double check that the lighting level is fine, and I'll put lanterns in some of these other spots just to make sure that we don't accidentally spawn in a creeper or something. And with that, I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.